new things, let us know. Can you see us? Can you see us okay? Can you hear us okay? We're I'm always a little nervous about, just our internet connection. I'm hoping that we can do the whole live without a hitch, but it was much most of the day. The winds.
We're in the middle of a little bit of a storm. Got a little bit of rain.
Yes, it's raining just a little bit right now, but I was kind of expecting a little bit more and a little sooner, weren't you? Like it said, like the possibility of rain as early as like the early afternoon, like 2 o'clock.
Mm-hmm.
And I had to go somewhere in the morning. I got back, and then I was like a speed demon outside, wasn't I? Getting things ready for the
Yeah.
big storm coming and stuff like that. And then here we are. We got like a little bit of a drizzle. Get a haircut. Yeah,
Got
that's
all of them cut.
yeah, nice and tight. Jennifer Bruce, hello. 13 Moons Homestead, hello, how's it going? I'm just glad the snow we got here is melting. I don't like it. We don't like snow either. That's why we're that's why we're here in southern Arizona. Our tiny acres, hello. Earthling Drew, good afternoon. Now, just want to point out here how cold Jess is. You've been inside pretty much most, if not all, the day, haven't you?
Mm-hmm.
Did you do any outside chores today?
I didn't do too much outside.
She doesn't want to be out there. I don't want to be out there. But look at this. She is bundled up.
I'm wrapped up in
That's the
a
secret.
blanket.
That's the secret. She knows how to stay comfy and warm. But yeah, how exciting is that? The dome is finished. If you guys saw that last video, that was a pretty epic video, wasn't it? The dome is finished. We put the final bags on. We cobbed over it, and that video took quite a while to put together, didn't it?
Yeah, it took a bit. There's a
Now
lot to it.
there was a lot to it. So yeah, there was a ton of footage to go through, wasn't there? Ton of footage. We didn't have a video Tuesday, so my apologies. But like that video took a while to put together. We ended up getting together with family for the holiday, so that was always nice. Always get
Mm-hmm.
to spend some time with family, getting together, having a good time. So we actually took it a little bit easy for a little while, didn't we?
Yeah, I guess so.
She's like, well, I haven't been taking it easy. I don't know about you. But we're working on another video. Very exciting. So, now that we've completed the dome, so what's next? What have we been working
uh, Now we're doing other things with the dough.
on? I love how specific that was. Now we'll be doing other things with the dome. So the next up on the list was to take the forms out, right?
Mm-hmm.
So just give them a little insight. How was it for you?
Oh, it was pretty cool doing that. So we, as we were building the dome, we put in these wooden forms where the doors and windows are going to be. And so now that we finished it, it's time to take it out and start putting in the windows and things.
Was it a little nerve wracking at all?
It was very nerve wracking.
Now, we knew, when reading all the books and stuff like that, they tell you to put in some wedges or something like that because when you're tamping on those forms, it can compress it a lot. So if you don't put anything in there, it might be just about nearly impossible to get those forms out. And they were all pretty challenging still. Well, of course, I didn't have wedges in there, I had blocks in there, which still made it pretty difficult to get get everything out. But we did kind of manage with the loss of but one form. Affordable desert living. Hello. Can it be Jim and Jess have fast internet? I don't know. I don't know how fast it is. Just as long as it stays connected. That's all I'm worried about.
When do you plan on starting the next dome?
Tomorrow.
Tomorrow.
That's news to her. No, it'll be a little bit. It'll be a little bit before we start the next dome. We really want to kind of not finish this dome, but kind of like work on the exterior, kind of get it to a point where we're not worried about the exterior during the next monsoon season or anything like that. So if we can just kind of get this into a good position, the inside will kind of have to wait because I'm pretty sure I'm going to need to wait on the inside before starting till the next dome is done so I can do all the wiring together.
Mm-hmm.
So just the exterior, the interior will wait, and then we'll start the next dome. Jennifer Bruce asks, will you be making your own glass windows? Kind of in a way.
Some of them, yeah.
You want to talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, actually most of the windows.
Yeah.
Yeah, most of the windows are going to be bottle windows. So we've been kind of saving up a lot of glass, bottles, jars, different things, and we'll be kind of just cobbing them in there. And we do have one other like prefabricated window that we're putting in.
Yeah. If you follow us on Instagram, you might have already seen, but we picked up kind of an inexpensive wet tile saw, and we'll be using that. I'll be probably using that to cut up some of the bottles. It'll be kind of interesting. I'm a little nervous, but we'll see how that goes. Just Jim, will you be starting an Earthbag greenhouse? Kind of interesting that you would bring that up. I don't know if it'll be a Earthbag greenhouse per se, but we're thinking of kind of moving toward like a Wallapini or like an underground greenhouse.
Mm-hmm.
And I think we were thinking about using earth bags as sort of like a retaining wall, but I'm not 100% sure if we'll do that or not.
I think that could work.
It could, but I might want to save as much of the dirt as we can. I'm thinking about that because we might need. Because if we have those dug out, that might be for the dirt we need to finish this second dome. And if we don't have any dirt left over, we can't use them for earth bag retaining walls.
Do you cob the inside walls too? Yeah, I think we'll be cobbing the inside as well.
This new stand makes it a little tricky if I touch the screen at all.
It wobbles.
It wobbles. It's
Whoa.
very light stand. Very light stand. I think a geothermal greenhouse would be an excellent addition to the property. I think so too. I think I think there's a lot of advantages. I think you have to take that into consideration. Your area, it might not be appropriate for everyone, but I think over here it could have a lot of advantages. Richard Solomon, hello.
Slamboy asks, in real time, when did you finish?
In real time. When? Oh,
It was before Christmas, right?
yeah, because the video was released on Christmas.
Yeah.
We actually got a little bit of a head on videos. It was kind of weird how that worked out because we filmed a bunch of things, and then we had so much footage. You were thinking like it was going to be two decently sized videos, but it kind of ended up being two smaller sized videos. But I think by the time it was all said and
Yeah.
done, so it did actually give us some time to finish off that dome, and then all that footage got put into that last video. So it got it worked out.
Yeah.
So I think we were done like a week before that video actually got released.
Was it like a whole week?
I think
Might
so.
have been.
I think so.
Paul asks, will you be adding walls around your property or will you stick with the fences you have now? I'd like to add walls.
Yeah, probably not around the whole
Oh, like the whole
proper
perimeter.
perimeter,
We
but
might keep just the barbed wire fencing around the perimeter and then kind of section off different areas for different things like, garden walls or livestock areas or whatever.
for sure.
And maybe I'd like to try maybe some stone walls or do some other earthen walls.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Chicken garden.
Chicken garden. Yeah. Well, we kind of have a chicken garden now. Well,
we kind of have
garden
a chicken garden
/ chicken area.
the two don't mix. Is the complete one bedroom or storage basement? The completed dome,
The completed one. Yeah. The dome that we finished is the underground part is where we have our bedroom.
yeah. So right now, so that underground portion is the bedroom, and that dome we finished to kind of be like the living room, kind of guest entertainment area. The dome we're working on, probably one of the most important, is going to be the kitchen bathroom area, and that'll be over the root cellar. So good combination. You need stuff from the root cellar. It'd be right there by the kitchen.
Mm-hmm. When will you put a second coat on the dome? That's probably coming up soon.
Yeah.
Right.
I would imagine.
I don't know. We might have to wait until it warms up a little more.
In order for you to be able to be outside working.
Oh, well, yeah, that. But any kind of like plastering or rendering usually works better when you don't get freezing temperatures. Could cause cracking.
But you want to add some cob before that. Will we be able to do that?
I probably could. Yeah.
Won't the rain wash off mud and straw combination? Eventually.
Mm-hmm.
But the cob is actually pretty resilient. I mean, yeah, you don't want to. I mean, it'll wash off eventually, and you don't want to have to keep reapplying it. But that's why we'll be doing that rendering.
Yep. Terry asks, what are the triangular like spokes around the tower for? Those are our eaves. So we kind of put in these areas around there where we can hang gutters off of because we want to be able to collect rainwater off of the dome.
So it'll kind of offer a little bit of protection from the lower portion of the build, as well as hopefully allow us to kind of put some gutters up, get rainwater off of every surface. And did you hear those coyotes earlier?
I did, yeah.
That was crazy. They sounded pretty close. They're probably trying to get away from the cold and the rain as well. The most awesome project I've seen you both build so far besides your home is the 14,000-gallon cistern. I'm so thankful you made those videos. I'm going to make 2 of them on my property.
Oh, wow.
Pretty ambitious. But my thinking is if you're going to build your own cistern, maybe make them a little smaller. That one was pretty massive. I would do smaller, more of them and smaller ones.
Yeah, we'll probably be building more cisterns.
Easier to build,
ones.
easier to manage, and if something goes wrong, it's not as detrimental.
Lose all your water. Affordable Desert Living asks if we'll be using a serious type of plaster over the cob on the exterior of the building. Yeah, we
serious. Yeah, it'll be pretty serious.
Yeah, we have some plans. I think we're gonna be kind of experimenting with some plaster mixes, kind of see what works.
We're kind of leaning away from, I know a lot of people are asking about putting cement or lime into mixes, and we're looking at avoiding that. But if we do go with something like that, it might be lime. But again, that could be kind of expensive and hard to get. So we're looking at other things.
And Just the Figment says, my daughter says hi. Hi.
Hello.
What kind of finish will you have on the outside? Any sculptural or artistic elements? Oh, yeah. Yeah, I have some ideas on that. So, yeah, probably do a little bit of sculptural work and
anything you want specifics? Anything you're thinking of?
I am. Well, I want
she's playing close to the vest. She ain't letting you know nothing. Yes, sculptural stuff.
Because I'm not totally sure right now.
Well, what are you kind of thinking?
Well, I'm thinking of using rocks.
Where are we gonna get those from?
I don't know. I think we can find some.
We might.
We'll probably use some different natural pigments in the plaster and have some ideas for kind of layering some things, sculpting, carving. It's should be interesting.
I think we got a call for the crew king.
Oh.
He's been out for a large part of the day. He's been out and he's still out. Crew. Hey, buddy. Didn't mean to wake you. Was that mean? He was out. I don't think he was snoring now.
Jim, what's your favorite thing about building with earthbags?
My favorite thing about building with earthbags. Well, I like the It's obviously very difficult physically, but I like the, you know, ability that it's, to get the resources right here from their own land. Just building with dirt makes it very easy to kind of build with, to kind of work with. Anyone with a little knowledge can and practice can kind of build with it, so it makes for a really nice material to work with.
Yeah, I feel like it's a little more accessible to more people.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Are you going to expand your solar system?
Uh, my thinking, yeah, I can't say for sure whether we will or not, but right now I'd probably be leaning toward no. I really would. I really would like to be less dependent on electricity and find ways of needing electricity less rather than overdo it with power. And the system we have right now is pretty good. And I think it'll be even better once we're in the house and we won't need it as much. So, trying to make do with less.
Hello, guys. I wonder if the main dome will be your living quarters and if it's watertight enough regarding to the rainwater that's going to fall.
Oh, it'll be watertight for sure.
Yeah.
It's already watertight with just the bags and the cob. But then once we do all the other things to the outside, I mean, yeah, it'll be nice.
Yep. Will be
Well, you
our
don't want a
main
house that
living
leaks.
area.
Yeah, you don't want a house that leaks.
No.
Shannon says, I have a gift to send you for crew. I will include an old fashioned recipe, 1 minute prep, super for busy days.
Oh, cool.
Cool. Thank you very much. Hulk Flats, smash that like button. That's right. Hulk says, smash that like button. Have you sourced your straw bales yet? Yeah, kind of. I know where I want to get them from. And I'm probably going to get some test bales first just to kind of play around with it and see, like, because we got some straw bales from this place out in Sierra Vista. And you were actually planning on using bales that size. I was like, we can't use those bales because they're much bigger than the bales we used to get and heavier. So I want to get some of the smaller bales and just kind of get a feel for it, how we can kind of put them together, see if we can't see how it's like raising them up to that height and how it'll be maneuvering before we fully commit to it. But she's fully committed already. You already got ideas. You got plans set.
I do.
I'm a little nervous.
I hope we can make it work because I'm excited about it.
I'm excited about it too. I really want it to work. But then, when we got finished, I'm like, man, that dome is tall. Getting those bales up there, that's going to be tricky.
Yeah. Did you ever consider buying an existing home with acreage and fixing it up? I'm amazed at how much you guys took on, and congrats on the dome. Thank you.
Was that ever a consideration? I think it might have been when we were first looking around.
Possibly, like we looked at a lot of things.
But I think we were always kind of leaning a little bit more towards just bare land, just because of the cost.
Yeah, and I think we were already thinking about building with earthbags or doing some kind of natural building, and we wanted to try that.
Yeah. Will the next dome be the same height? It's almost probably will be very close to what we built now. We were kind of talking it over, thinking about whether we were going to make any changes, and then we actually decided kind of to keep it pretty simple.
Yeah.
So it'll be challenging, but wait, we already went through it. But well, and as far as the height goes, yeah, because we've already got everything set to go for the 20-foot interior diameter. So we really can't shrink it that much to really bring down the height. We could shrink it a little bit, but it probably wouldn't be worth it.
Mm.
So same diameter, same height. Mathematically, it's the way it's got to be.
Oh, and Deshaun asks what my favorite thing about building with earth bags is.
Hmm.
I kind of like some of the flexibility that you can have with it. And I like being creative, and so part of the fun of it was designing it just how I wanted to, and being able to build a dome with it is really cool. It's something that you can't do with a lot of other building techniques.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Could you farm your land? Yeah, I think we could. But
Um,
we'd like to
yeah, I
use
mean
it to grow food here.
that's kind of our main goal
Mm-hmm.
after building. I don't know if we can wait. Honestly, I wanted this upcoming year. I was hoping this upcoming year we'd be able to kind of focus on that, and it looks like there'll be like another year of kind of intensive building.
But we might kind of get started on some
I'm
of that.
thinking some of that might start in conjunction with this next build because we're going to probably have to build some of those greenhouses while we're building the dome. So,
Have you opened up the root cellar yet?
oh, not yet, not yet. So, the first I'll be cutting into there's some things I got to do. I want to do some things with the loft, and I want to get that secure. Then I'll be cutting into the bedroom floor, and then I think I'm going to wait until we're almost ready to start on that second dome before cutting into the root cellar.
Mm.
Because one, I don't really want to open it up to the elements until like I have to, and then when I do, that'll be for to start the plumbing work. So I'm nervous on that. And I got to put my plumber's hat on, y'all. Should I get my own like little like Mario cap? I think I've earned it with all the piping I've done and the platforms I've been jumping across. Save the princess. Maybe this princess didn't need saving.
Slam Boy says archaeologists will discover your compound. Yeah, I wonder.
Yeah.
You ever think about that?
If they see, yeah, to see all
Oh.
these like earthen structures and stuff like that, it'd be kind of interesting. Um, yeah, I'm excited. Yeah, I'm excited. Oof. So many things about to go down. Of course, we had to put a little bit on hold just because of the weather. Can't do too much with the rain. But maybe I'll jump in and start doing some of the work on that loft. I don't know. I don't know. It's cold. I know it's like what, just under 50 degrees or something like that.
Yeah.
And we're like, we're freezing. But I know it's probably incredibly tame to most of the rest of the
Right.
country.
I think we're a little more acclimated to the hot weather, though.
We love the heat. We love the heat. I honestly like the seasonal changes. I'll take the cold for a little bit because then it makes you miss the heat, and then by the time you've got enough heat, then you're ready for the cold again.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't mind the change. It gives you a break from each of those things.
Mm-hmm.
And I'll take the rain whenever I can get it. Wouldn't super Adobe or hyper Adobe be easier?
Yeah.
Yes.
They each have kind of their
You have to
benefits and
you have
drawbacks.
to research each type of bag you want to use for the build and decide if it's appropriate for your build, because not every bag is appropriate for every type of situation.
Yeah, so in our case, like we were looking at Super Adobe, but the design that we wanted for this, the diameter was a little too big. You have to get a certain size bag for building a dome according to the size. So we couldn't find Super Adobe bags that were big enough.
And with hyper Adobe, you might not even be able to build a dome. I'm not even sure if anyone's been able to build a dome successfully with hyper Adobe. Have you ever seen it?
I've never seen it. I don't know. It might be possible, but
It might be possible, but if one does attempt to build a dome with hyper Adobe, it's still recommended to use barbed wire. So you got
yeah.
to take a look into cost consideration, what you're building. Again, like we couldn't build the size dome we wanted to with hyper Adobe bags or super Adobe bags, just not wide enough.
hmm But like a good thing about what we were doing was we were able to get like repurposed bags, so it costs quite a bit less to
That's
source those.
that's another point. And we were also talking about the one. There are very few benefits to single bag use, but one of them is actually the arch forms, making forms for windows and stuff like that.
Yeah, it's really cool, and we're going to talk about that in the next upcoming video. But it's kind of cool. Like with this build, we're not really using cement. We would have had to use some cement, I think, if we're doing the arches with Super Adobe or something, just to make it stay. But doing those fan bags, those worked really well. It was
I
amazing.
I really can't wait for you guys to see that video coming up. I mean, I think when we did our first arch form, it was for that bench table thing. And with that one, when we took that form out, it did kind of like shift a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
But when we took out those forms on this, there was like no shifting. Those forms were a rock solid.
And I think with that little bench thing we did, uh, we took that form out pretty quickly
Pretty quickly.
after, so things probably didn't set up fully. Plus, the bags we used were different, and I don't think it allowed it to dry properly. So, but it's cool. It's scary, like taking those forms out, and then you're like, oh, there's gonna be a big hole here. What's gonna happen with the bags? But it's amazing to see.
Yeah, it's cool. I'll tell you, closing up the dome was a huge milestone, and it was a real powerful moment for us. And I'll tell you, I talk about it in the video, but for me personally, taking those forms out was possibly even a bigger milestone, and it was really emotional for me.
Mm-hmm. Charles asked, "Do you ever think of banking heat?" Well, I mean, kind of the one of the cool things about having an earthen home, especially with walls that thick, is the thermal mass, and that kind of acts as like a banking heat. Like it absorbs the heat and then it slowly releases it. But we are also thinking of using rocket mass heaters, which work in the same way.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So yeah, it's a good, pretty cool way of heating and go ahead.
Someone asked, "Did you get any vibrations while tamping?" Um, The only time I've gotten any kind of like vibrations while tamping is when we're right on top of the form, or like over pipes or anything like that that might
Mhm.
be hollow. Then you might get a vibration during that course that goes over there, maybe a couple courses over, but then after that you don't feel it at all.
Did you solve your rain issues with the cob coming off? Well, not completely.
Yeah, I mean, right now until we get everything situated, it's always going to be a little bit of an issue.
Mm-hmm.
But we found out the big thing about for us keeping the cob in place is taking off any platforms
Mm-hmm.
that are up there, because that was the big one of the big issues, and
Yeah,
where we're
because
seeing
the
the massive amounts of cob coming off.
right any areas where it allows water to kind of pool up and then it channels it down in one spot, then it really breaks that cob off.
If that water can just hit that dome and it's not being funneled, then the cob is a lot more resilient. Did you have to do any bond beam layers at all? That is a good question. It is something we were thinking about, especially when we were doing the. We kind of pondered over that for a while, and it was something we were considering whether we were going to do like some type of cement bond beam in the middle, especially when we were doing the eaves and the loft. We decided against cement, and we kind of did almost like a cob bond beam. I don't know if that probably doesn't really qualify as a bond beam. I don't know, but that's kind of what we did. And that was a kind of a way where we could kind of get material in between those eaves and the loft wood, and it was really strong. Like, I was really surprised by the strength of the cob.
Mm-hmm.
It was a that was a massive layer to do though,
Yeah, that took a while.
and we did it with hauling buckets of cob up to the top. Oh man, my arms and shoulders were tired.
Walls to direct the wind or hills to force the wind up. Use those planes. Yeah. Um, for windbreaks. Yeah. Also, probably use trees as windbreaks around here.
How much money does one need to get started off grid living in the desert? Well, that's something that I really feel like really can't be answered by anyone in particular. That's something you got to kind of figure out for yourself, because that could be different for anyone. You got to really kind of decide how you want to live off grid. What kind of energy needs you might have, water. You got to take how you want to live, whether you want to build your own earthbag house, whether you're gonna um, have a do like a shed to house
Mm-hmm.
conversion. So I would say having more money saved is better than not. Um, it can be kind of expensive if you got to set everything up yourself, but take a look and do some research. Find out what you need, and forget money, try ground labor. Exactly. So, if we had a ton of money, I mean, we could hire people to help build our house. We could have someone design it and everything like that. But we've opted to build with earth bags, doing it ourselves. So that's going to cut a lot of costs. Shannon, thank you so much for the super chat. Your minds are like a creative treasure box. Looking forward to 2022, watching you kids build a dream. Well, thank you so much. Thank you so much for the
Thank
super
you.
chat. We really appreciate that. Yeah, I think 2022 is going to be kind of pretty exciting. A lot of cool projects going in before that next dome. Is there enough groundwater to justify drilling a well? There probably is, but it's deep. Um, I think a bunch of the wells around our area are at least around a little over 300 feet. But when we talked to the well drillers, they said, plan on going at least 400, but possibly as deep as 6. So it's an expensive investment with no guarantees.
Right. Oh, Andre asked, "Is the dog fine after the snake?" Yeah.
Oh,
Crew.
that was a scary time.
When was that? It's a year ago, maybe.
At least probably a year ago, right?
Yeah, but he did get bit by a small rattlesnake. So that was really scary for us.
Yeah. Of course, I was the one walking him. It was in the real early in the morning, and it was dark, and then I heard something, and sometimes things make almost certain sounds like insects or
Yeah.
sometimes the plants, and you really can't be sure. And I was hearing a sound, but I couldn't see anything because it wasn't even as big as like a regular rattlesnake. It was like a tiny little baby rattlesnake, and I didn't see it. But of course, Crew knows exactly where it is, gets his face right by it. Bam! Got him. Right in the muzzle. And yeah, you could tell now Crew doesn't show pain very often, but you could tell he was in a lot of pain with it. And his muzzle swelled up really well. His muzzle swelled up really big, but we just made him comfortable, and he pulled through it pretty well. Just fought through it. It's tough like that.
Yeah, we took a few days.
Yeah, took a few days, and then he's right back to being a stubborn dog that he is. What's the life expectancy of the dome? Probably quite a long time. I don't know if there's any particular hard facts and figures on that, but I mean, other constructions usually last quite a bit, probably even longer than a lot of your conventional builds.
It can. I was reading about, the lifespan of like concrete, and it might be 50 to 100 years. And there's earthen buildings that have been around a lot longer than that. I think it just depends on a lot of different things like climate and different conditions, and if it's maintained in a certain way or not.
Do y'all own a telescope? I bet that night sky is something special in your location. It is amazing. I think I've always been really impressed with the night skies out here. We don't actually own a telescope, but maybe that's something we can add. I really think for the next dome, I really want to add kind of like a balcony type thing. And I think, especially with that east dome, because then you'd have a really nice view of the mountains and everything like that. And I'm really leaning toward adding that. I think that'd be nice.
What's the diameter of the lancet part of the dome? So like the top part where it curves in more? I don't remember.
What was that?
The diameter of the lancet part of the dome.
No, I don't recall offhand.
Yeah, it's interesting because like towards the bottom of the dome, you can't even tell that it's kind of curving in, but then up towards the top, it really starts to.
If you're on the inside, you can tell the inside curvature. I know this because it's difficult to put cob on the inside. It's a little trickier.
Yeah.
Um, but it just, once you get past that like 10-foot mark, it starts going in much, much faster. Does Verizon cellular phone service work well out there? Yes.
That's what we have.
Yep. But I think all of your larger carriers will kind of work in most of these rural areas. I think Verizon, AT&T, I think T-Mobile has really worked well pretty well. So
I think when we first moved out here, Verizon was like the only
it was
thing
the only one.
that worked.
But my suggestion is always to test it.
Yeah.
If you have an area you think don't take anyone's word for it. Like actually be on the land you're gonna buy and test it out.
Yeah.
Because I'll tell you, even Verizon has really good coverage around this area, but there's this weird. Sometimes there are these weird spots, and there's this weird spot by the main road out there where there's like a dead zone for signaling.
Yeah. We have a decent signal, but we did get a signal booster, which helped.
Yes. Again, like it was a decent signal, but the booster really helps for sure. Glenna says, please hit that like button. Absolutely. Smash that like button.
How close is the second dome to the first one? Pretty close.
Pretty close.
About 10 feet or something like that?
Yeah. And who knows what it'll be, what the actual distance will be, but probably approximately 10 feet. How do you feel on that? Would you have changed that, or do you like that? Do you think it'll be good?
I think it'll be okay. I might not know for sure until it's done. Hopefully I like it.
That was one of the crazy things, like designing a dome. It's very difficult kind of imagining and planning that space because it's such a different space from how we normally live. I think we did a pretty good job with this first dome. So we'll see if we make any changes on that.
How long now till the window frames come out? It's coming up. We actually did it.
Yeah.
Next video.
Man, look forward to that next video because that is an exciting one. For me, maybe even more exciting than topping off that dome. I don't know. That's pretty close. How was it for you? What would you rank? Was your excitement more for closing off the dome or taking out those forms? You're in the hot seat.
Pretty close. The same.
Oh, bold choice.
Are those pineapple plants right between you? You're growing pineapple too?
Oh.
Yeah, these are pineapple. There's actually 3 of them behind us. This one's poking me.
Why have you not used a sunroof top? That's a really good question. We'll talk about that now a little bit. I mean, we got a lot of questions like, why didn't you do that? A lot of people, we kind of circumvented expectations with that. And I've seen a lot of people have kind of clear top domes for these kind of builds, and it would let in a little bit extra light. But we opted not to do that. One because we're going to try and put straw bales up there, so that would never work.
Well, we could maybe find a way to make it work, but it'll be a lot more complicated, I think.
Yeah.
And
sorry, yeah, and then so another thing is that during those summer months when you're going to be getting most of that light in there, that's going to act as like just a heat funnel, pouring that heat right into the top of the dome.
Yeah, summertime is when the sun is more overhead, and it's the time when it's hot here, and we want to kind of minimize that heat during that time.
So we kind of opted to err on the side of more efficiency with trying to regulate the temperatures than
Right.
than getting a little bit more of that natural light in.
And plus, it has to do with the other plans we have for that top. Have either of you met the other YouTubers in the county?
Oh yeah.
Met a number of them.
Is there any that we haven't met? I'm sure there's probably some we haven't met. Yeah. It's a pretty nice community out here. We've got to meet quite a few other YouTubers in the county, and everyone's amazing. It's a really great community out here. I don't think there's anyone that I'm like, oh, those people are jerks. Don't like, you know. Everyone's pretty amazing, pretty always willing to help when they can. We're all kind of busy on our own projects, but got a lot of helping hands.
Mm-hmm. How large will your food forest be?
Ooh, I never really measured out the plans. I think it'll end up being how many acres would you guess? If you were to throw out a number.
I mean, not huge, but
Yeah,
decent
probably.
size, like maybe a couple acres or something.
Yeah, I could go with that. A couple acres. I definitely want to get. I think I'm kind of in charge of kind of trying to plan the food forest a little bit. You're actually really doing a deep dive into possible animals that we're gonna get.
Yeah, so I mean, we have kind of a basic site plan for our property where we want to put different things and what we want to have, but we really want to get into the details of like what kind of trees and where we want to put it and what kind of animals.
Apparently, North Star prep setter's fallen asleep during the live. our voices are much too soothing. I hope no one else is going to sleep out there. Crew may need a food jungle. Crew would never appreciate a food forest or a garden or anything like that. That's not his type of food.
Maybe if we had a herd of cattle, that would be like his food jungle.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Amy Aguilar says, "Earthbag doghouse." Yeah, we were actually kind of considering some type of like doghouse or something like that, but I don't think Crew would ever spend time getting to know Crew more. I don't think he would ever spend time in a doghouse because he needs to be close to us. He needs to be able to see us at all times or know where we are. Second, he needs to be able to see, like wherever he's at, he needs to be able to kind of see where people come and go.
Yeah.
So if he's in the trailer, he's usually kind of facing the door. And if he's outside, he's usually facing the gate.
Yeah. He's our security. He takes that job seriously.
He takes that job seriously.
Wherever he is, he's always like assessing the layout and the situation. Like, where do I need to be? Where do I need to be looking?
If you put him in like an enclosed space, like a yard or something like that, as soon as he gets in there, he's gonna circle the perimeter, and he's gonna investigate all the walls, all the corners, until he's satisfied everything is set, and then he's gonna lay down. 13 Moon says, "I gotta go put the chickens to bed. Congratulations, you're almost at 50K subs." All right, 13 Moons, you put them chickens to bed, and yeah, that's right. I was kind of hoping we would possibly hit that 50K by the end of the year, but I don't think we're gonna quite make it.
We're
But
gonna be close.
we'll be pretty
Yeah.
close, and I'm honestly honored that we would even hit that number at all. So thank you all so much for for helping us and watching those videos and making that happen. That's all thanks to you guys.
How important is it to have a property layout sketch before you actually settle on the property?
Before you settle on the property, I don't know if I would do that before. Like, I would do some assessments before you were to buy a property, just to kind of even make the decision whether you want it. You know, kind of get a idea of like slopes and water, like any kind of
Mm,
washes or anything like that, and get an idea of like water and
like
stuff
the
like that.
basic layout. And then, well, what we did, uh, we didn't start building right away when we moved out here because we wanted to just spend some time on the land and just kind of observe some things. And that's kind of where we started really getting uh, more of a concrete plan down. Just, after being here and spending time here.
Eric Thompson, thank you so much for the super chat. Yes, can you speak about what design features you will place on the inside now that you have finished the outside? Well, we haven't quite finished the outside. We're gonna finish. Have you really thought about the inside much at all quite yet?
Well, yeah, I mean, I had that all planned out. Um, I don't know if anything's going to change now that we actually built it because I feel like it's kind of different
I feel
having
like,
that on paper versus being in that space and seeing that.
yeah.
But
But we're not done with the outside. There's actually quite a bit to work to do on the outside now, and but I'm excited about the inside. I know for sure there's some changes I'm going to be making, including like taking out that post that's supporting the
mm,
loft
we'll be doing that soon.
and possibly adding in some type of foldable ladder slash stairs for the loft.
Mm.
I'm kind of excited about that. Simply Pam, midlife prices. Hello. Glad you guys could make it. Is it dark inside the dome now that it's done? You know, once we closed it off, it was pretty dark, and then we took out the forms, and bright. So that bottom area, I think it'll end up being fairly bright.
Mm.
Um, the loft area is always going to be a little bit on the dark side, but that's not a huge issue. It's a little bit on the dark side. But I don't think that's going to be a big issue for you. We just put up a light up there, plenty of light to work with, and as long as we're getting the light kind of in the living area, I think that'll be pretty nice.
Yeah.
This off-grid life, you guys completed it. We have been cheering you on for a while. Thank you so much, you two.
What type of life did you have before you started this new reality?
Probably more of your kind of conventional kind of life. We owned a home in the city, pretty nice home. We got it kind of on the downslope during the pandemic, so it was a pretty good price.
Pandemic.
Or
What
the
was it?
financial crash of
Yeah.
2008. I got to get my
Get your
crises
straight.
straight. um, but you know, I worked for Coca-Cola and quality control. You did medical transcriptioning, and then you know, we had that crazy idea of just trying to go off the grid and build a more unconventional life.
Yeah.
Um, any last question you want to throw out there?
Mm.
Nope.
What does the barbed wire do?
Well, that's a simple one. I'll let you
It's simple. It holds it all together.
holds
Well,
it all
kind of.
together.
It adds some. Uh, okay. um, it kind of helps keep things from shifting or like moving out of place. Plus, it holds the bags together, kind of acts like a mortar. So it provides a lot of strength and structural integrity, like horizontal. What's the word I'm looking for?
Tensile strength.
Tensile strength.
Maybe not as simple as we thought. E.T. Travis, thank you so much for the super chat. Nothing weighty to say tonight. Cold in here for today. It's cold over here as well.
Cold.
So,
Yes, thank you very much.
how does crew like the dome? He likes it okay.
Yeah.
Mainly just he just investigates, smells around, and then he gets out of there.
He checks our work though.
Well, thank you so much, everyone. That is our time. So we will be having a video out Saturday. That's removing the forms. I am crazy excited for you guys to see this. That was an exciting time. Thank you so much to our moderators. They're in blue there. They always do an amazing job keeping these lives running so smoothly. And thank you guys so much for being here with us tonight. And hopefully we got most of those questions answered. But have a good night all, and we'll see you guys Saturday. Bye.
Good night.
Good night.